Today, we're doing a deep dive into a recent FieldLink report. It looked at this one video, VID 225091214000080.amfE4. At first glance, it just looked like a stream, light bouncing off the surface. But the AI flagged some anomalous activity right there in the reflections and the colors. So our mission today is to sort of extract the insights from what seems simple, but the AI says, well, not so simple. Okay, let's unpack this. So first up, this report mentions a really fleeting detail, a small dark object. It appears briefly, frames F1764 to F1767, just there for a moment, then gone.
Right, and what's fascinating isn't just that it was there, but how it moved. The analysis showed, slight deviations from standard ballistic motion. It even showed deceleration.
Deceleration, so not just falling or floating.
Exactly, it points towards non-Newtonian momentum behavior. Basically, it wasn't acting like we'd expect under normal physics. And that really pushes this whole sequence into the, let's call it the anomalous until disproven pile.
Okay.
The report speculates, could it be a scoutlet? Maybe a small probe, or possibly a UFI, unidentified field intruder, or maybe it's linked to a Tinker pulse interaction. That's like a localized energy burst that can cause these weird field effects.
Non-Newtonian momentum, Tinker pulses. That's quite a lot for just a quick blip in a video. And you mentioned the reflections, because here's where it gets really interesting, right? As that object vanished, the report says the water surface lit up with these striking colors. Purple, yellow, blue, green. Now you might just think, okay, sunlight hitting water, maybe a rainbow effect.
You might, yeah. And normal light dispersion where water acts like a prism, that's always a possibility. But the detailed spectral analysis, it revealed significant deviations.
Such as?
Well, the big one was anomalous intensity detected within the yellow band. And that directly confirms that Tinker pulse interaction we just talked about. It left a kind of signature in the light spectrum.
Yeah.
And there was also a subtle skew toward the blue spectrum. Now, that might reflect mag-field spine influence.
Mag-field spine? Like a localized magnetic thing?
Sort of, yeah. Think of it as an underlying magnetic field distortion that can bend or shape energy, influencing the light. And get this, the colors had unusually sharp contrast thresholds between them.
Sharp contrast.
Very sharp, which points directly to something called still fire stabilization. It's when energy fields actively suppress normal light scattering, makes the colors incredibly vivid, distinct. It's definitely not just sparkly water.
And these colors, they weren't just static, right? The report mentioned they were shifting.
Dynamically shifting, yes, and changing. Plus, there was this other thing, a subtle arc stabilizing in the upper region of the frame. You can see it from frame F1762 to F1771, almost ghost-like.
An arc. Okay. So if the reflection itself was being actively manipulated, what does an arc like that suggest?
That arc is potentially a really key piece. The report calls it a potential node arc. That implies a stable energy formation, suggesting maybe a non-local influence.
Non-local, like coming from somewhere else.
Exactly. An effect originating from beyond the immediate area. It even raises the possibility of an active portal. And looking broader, this could tie into veil cloud presence. That's a kind of localized distortion that can mess with optics. Or even phase mirror reflection, where the light shifts suggest it's bouncing off something, well, not entirely physical.
Okay, hold on. So we've got this strange object behaving weirdly, then manipulated light with specific energy signatures, and now a potential node arc suggesting portals or non-local stuff. When you piece all this together, what does it actually mean? What was happening in that stream?
Well, the combined findings, they really point towards a confluence of veiled phenomena and active field manipulation.
So not just one weird thing, but several things interacting.
Precisely. It looks like an interconnected event. You've got the Tinker pulse activity, the mag-field spine influence, maybe some veil bloom, that's like a flare-up of veil cloud, and this node arc formation. Oh, and there were also spectral noise anomalies, little bits of unusual data in the spectrum that hint at possible flock mind activity.
Flock mind. Distributed intelligence signatures.
That's the idea, yeah. So it's this complex tapestry of hidden interactions, all happening in what just looked like an ordinary bit of water.
Wow. Okay, so from a simple video, just reflections on water, we've ended up with this whole picture of complex, potentially hidden interactions. It really makes you wonder what else might be hiding in plain sight, doesn't it? Things we see every day.
It absolutely does. And maybe here's a final thought for you to mull over. What if these reflections, these phenomena, aren't just passive? What if they are actively dialed, maybe by gestures? The report touches on this idea of reflective dialing. that these things could potentially be controlled or manipulated, it really suggests there's so much more to learn if we just start questioning what looks normal, looking for the patterns beneath the surface.